Hi, and in this video, I'm going to share 4 simple ways to magnetically inspire a man's love. Hi ladies, Matt Shaffer here, your empowerment, connection, and relationship coach. I'm a former attorney who's committed his life to supporting you in creating the sort of fun, fulfilling, dynamic connections and relationships with men that you are so worthy of. And I am so excited about the topic of today's video. We're going to dive into some simple yet powerful ways to help you magnetically inspire a man to love you and want to be in relationship with you in the deepest way possible. These are the sort of tools I use with my clients and my students all the time, and I know they're going to make a big difference for you. But before we dig into it, take a second, hit that little subscribe button, and don't forget to click the link in the comments and caption, because I have created some great training that is going to absolutely revolutionize the way that you connect with and build relationships with men. Now, when it comes to being irresistible to high-value men and getting them to really drop in and love you in a deep way, it makes sense to think that words would be your best friend, right? And to an extent, they really can help. Complimenting a man on specific aspects of his appearance or his personality or how he's showing up to you, it really can be a powerful way to draw him close to you and activate his love. But the funny thing is, what's even more powerful than that are your actions. That's right, ladies. When it comes to men, actions speak louder than words. But here's the thing, it can't just be any type of action. In order for it to really activate and inspire a man to drop in and love you more, it has to be the type of action that empowers him and builds his confidence, both in your connection and in the relational container that the two of you have created together. So here are 4 examples of empowering actions you can use with a man that will both touch his heart and inspire him to step up and into the type of relationship that you really want. And number 4 is acts of trust. And this is a big one, and it's something I like to refer to as throwing a man the ball. And this is where you leave a man alone with someone or something that's really valuable to you. For example, it could be a child, right? If you have a kid. It could be a furry child if you have a pet. Or maybe it's just something like letting him house sit for you while you're out of town on business. But no matter what it is, when you throw a man the ball and you give him an act of trust, right? You allow him to take care of something that's valuable for you, even if it's watering your plants, right, at your house. It's demonstrating that you trust him and that you honor and respect his ability to take care of you, even when you're not there. It demonstrates to him non-verbally that he's earned your trust, which is something that deep down men are really craving in relationship with women. And engaging in an act of trust with a man or throwing him the ball is also a great filter, right? Because if a man that you're dating or getting to know is unwilling to take that responsibility on, or he seems really uncomfortable with it or insecure about it, it's probably a sign that he's either not invested in you as you would like him to be, or that he just doesn't have the degree of character or willingness to take on that responsibility in the relationship, which either way, he's filtering himself out. And just a little disclaimer, ladies, to all my single moms out there, I'm not telling you to throw your child at a guy that you've just started dating, because honestly, that's a big responsibility and it might be overwhelming to a guy too early in getting to know him. And obviously, you don't want to put your child at risk, right? But once your relationship has hit a certain point and you really want to gauge the level of investment he has in you and maybe his capabilities as a potential father, yeah, throw him the ball and see how he responds. It'll tell you a lot about who he is and where you're at in the relationship. And if he's invested, he's really going to feel honored by the trust that you've given him. And the third action you can take to magnetically inspire a man to love you is to ask him questions in his passion zone. So what is a man's passion zone? It's his area of expertise. It's the things that he is into and passionate about and he is an authority in, right? Every guy has that stuff, whether it's cars or MMA or housing stuff, or maybe it's cooking. And so whenever you have a question, right, say you want to know how to cook a perfect souffle, instead of going to the internet, Ask your man. If he knows cooking, allow him a chance to demonstrate his authority and his expertise to you. It's very empowering for a guy to be asked by his woman to speak into a subject and to be seen as an authority on something that he's really passionate about. So know that when you do that, when you ask him questions about things that he's passionate about, that he's into, it's going to help empower him and make him feel more confident in his own masculinity within the relational container. And number 2 is allowing him to lead. And this may seem counterintuitive, but sometimes the best action to take to empower a man that you're getting to know is to allow him to take action. Because here's something I've noticed in working with my clients and students and in my own life, that when you and your partner in the relationship are faced with a situation or a challenge, isn't it so often the default response of the woman to want to dive in and fix it herself, or to tell her male partner what to do?
Gary, why are you taking 43rd Street to go to dinner when you know that the tunnel is so much faster at this time of day? We're gonna be late to dinner now, Gary, and what are your parents gonna say?
And ladies, how do you think a man feels when you take the driver's seat, both literally or figuratively, in situations like that? He often feels emasculated, disempowered, and like you don't really trust him to make the right decision. And it's so important to recognize that in order to create polarity and to empower and honor the masculine in a relationship, that you have to give him the space and the ability to make decisions and to lead the way, even if it's going to take a little bit longer to get to dinner. And remember that the masculine is craving being acknowledged and trusted for what they're doing in the world, what their actions are. So by allowing him to lead, you're giving him what he's craving at the energetic level within the relationship and helping him build his confidence, build his decision-making muscles, and really helping him understand and believe that you really do trust him, which more than anything is what he wants. And the number one way to magnetically inspire a man's love through your actions is to touch him in an authentic, meaningful way. I cannot emphasize this enough. Touch is a primary, fundamental love language for so many men out there, and most men are completely starved for it. And I'm not just talking about touch during sex. Oftentimes, that's the only real physical affection, right, that a man gets is during foreplay and during sex. I'm talking about just rubbing his back when he gets home from work, or playing with his hair, or using your nails on his arms while you're sitting there watching TV. All of these little small acts of physical affection and playful, tender, authentic, emotional touch are really going to help him drop out of his head and into his body, which is so important, especially after he's been at work, right? And he's been solving problems and he's been in his head all day. It's a great way to get a man to soften and get out of his head and into his body, which is really important because, ladies, at the end of the day, if you want that deep, incredibly loyal, passionate connection with a guy, you want him to see you as his sanctuary, right? His emotional and his physical sanctuary from the hardships of his life and the heaviness of his responsibilities. And touch is literally the greatest way that you can be that sanctuary for the man in your life. So if you want to empower him and help him really drop in and trust and be confident with you in the relational container, touch the guy. So there you go, ladies. If you're able to use these 4 powerful actions in your relationships and connections with men, you are going to empower the men in your life to really drop in and connect with and love you at an entirely new level. And to review them one more time, number 4 is acts of trust. Demonstrating that you trust a man by throwing him the ball and letting him look after your house or your pets or even your kids, right? If the relationship has reached a certain level, is a huge way to show that you really believe in this guy and you see him as someone who's a partner for you. And number 3 is ask him questions in his passion zone. Tap into and acknowledge him as an authority in his zone of genius, in the things that he's an expert at. That's going to empower him and really help him understand that you see him as a resource and someone that you can trust. And number 2 is allowing him to lead. Sometimes the most powerful action you can take is to allow him to take action, right? Men are craving being the physical drivers in relationship. And when you stop trying to micromanage a man's action just because you may know a better way and you just allow him to lead, it's going to be very confidence building for him and help him see himself as that powerful leader and navigator in the relationship that he really wants to be. That's the role that he wants to have with you. And number one is touch him in a meaningful and authentic way. All men are craving touch in some way, shape, or form, unless they have trauma around it, right? So in most cases, a man is wanting and yearning for your touch, not just in the bedroom, not just during sex, but just casually throughout the day, right? And the more that you do that, the more consistently you do that, the more you're gonna build intimacy with him, build connection, and build trust with him. And he's gonna start to see you more as that sanctuary that you really want to be if you want to inspire his loyalty, dedication, and love. So I hope you enjoyed these 4 actions you can go out there and take today. But before you do that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and sound off in the comments. Let me know what was your number 1 tip or any additional sorts of actions that you think are super important and powerful for you to take to magnetize and inspire a man to love you. Let's get that conversation going down below. And don't forget to click the link in the comments and caption. I have created some great training that's gonna make a huge difference in your connections and relationships with men. And I'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.